All right. Hey, fun fans. Coming up on this week of FRC Round Up, we are going to be taking a look at the regional versus district model and how we can possibly make regional eliminations more fair for advancement. The Sauce 2022 Meta Evolution of Rapid React presented by Emilio here and Team 3847, and taking a look at the unfortunate circumstances that happened this past weekend at the San Francisco Regional. All of this and more coming up on the third episode of FRC Roundup.
Your destination for first content, updates, and gaming.
Welcome to the fun.
First Updates Now is supported by Stryker Careers. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com.
All right, welcome to week 3 of FRC Roundup. If you have not caught our show previously, this is a new show this year that will be continuing to be following FRC Recap on Monday nights, and we'll take a look at the previous overall week and highlight some discussion points about events, strategy, or really anything that may have correlated with the previous week. If you, the fun community, think that there is a topic that we should discuss on FRC Roundup, please feel free to ping me on the Fun Discord, and I will be more than happy to take a look at it. If you are not familiar with me, my name is Nick Mathis, and I am currently in the FIM region, and previously was Team 4130. Today on the third episode, I am joined by my co-host, Connor McBride from Team 166, and guest Emilio from Team 3847 Spectrum out of Texas. Connor, go ahead and give us a brief description of yourself.
Yeah, my name is Connor McBride. I am the drive coach and design mentor for Team 166 Chop Shop in New Hampshire. I have been with 166 for the last 10 years, and I am happy to be back again hosting the show with you, Nick. It's a lot of fun.
Yep, great to have you back, Connor. Thank you. And Emilio, a little bit about yourself. Thanks for coming on today.
Hi, my name is Emilio. I am an alumni from Team 3847 and been helping out this year with strategy and design.
Awesome. Great to have you on the show. So kind of we'll jump right into our first topic here, looking at the regional versus district model and kind of how do we make advancement better for the regional aspect. This was kind of brought to light. I know it's been talked about, ad nauseum for multiple years now, but there was a Chief Delphi thread that recently came up and how to take a look at this and how can we and possibly make advancement better from that sense. I actually had the opportunity to attend my first regional this past weekend with 2 Michigan teams who actually ended up taking those 2 championship slots that other teams at the regional could have qualified for. And, I think it's definitely interesting. And I was telling in the pre-show a little bit, regionals definitely provide a different atmosphere. And I think that's, like I said, earlier, it really correlates to how some teams, that's their one and done, and that's really all they have. And I think, us in the district system are very fortunate. And, I really don't think that how the advancement set up currently really does a fair job of what it is. And I know that, it was better before this year and kind of how we got into this sense of, it only being the first alliance captain, the first pick without any wild cards. But Connor, we'll kind of jump ahead to you and get your overall thoughts on the regional advancement system and, what a possible solution is. I know I have a solution that was kind of brought up in the Chief Delphi thread that could be brought to light, but just, kind of your first thoughts.
Yeah, so I think it sucks. I've been to one regional is when I was a freshman on 166 back in 2013, and then New England switched to districts. We were going to go to Tech Valley in 2020, but COVID decided to be a thing. Yeah, it's not fun to try and qualify at a regional level because you have to be on the winning alliance, and this year you have to be the captain or the first pick, and then chairman's engineering inspiration, and then is rookie. I know rookie all-star got you to worlds to the world championship prior. I don't remember if it is this year.
Oh, yep, it's not this year.
Yeah, not this year. But I know I'm going to be very, very biased on how to fix this. And the best way to do that is to go to districts. And you get more bang for your buck on your matches because a regional is going to be like 8 to 10 matches for your $5,000 registration fee, and you only get one event. In districts, you're going to be getting two smaller in size events, but you get minimum of like 12 matches at each event. So you get so much more time playing with your robot. And one of the things for me with 166, because like we're not one of those big powerhouse teams, you can still advance to the world championship without winning a banner. Like you can be consistently like a captain or first pick, make it to the semifinals of your two qualifying events and the district championship and still make it. So like 2016 was our best season. We were captain of the quarterfinalists and quarterfinals finish at our first event, captain's finalists at our second, and then captain of the 8 seed at districts, lost in the quarters, and we still finished 17th out of 180 something, which was more than enough to put us into the world championship. I think honestly that's the best way. But the thing is we've heard from other people on Fun in prior years, like Karthik and Michael Corsetto, saying that, you know, borders are a real thing, and, you know, population throughout the United States and other countries and whatnot for teams and team density can really, really be a factor in this. So like, you know, California has been one of those big areas, and I can't comment too much because I'm not as well versed with California, but I know that they have a lot of teams that where it makes sense to do a district. But the problem is that California is just so spread out. A lot of teams would have to be able to fly just to go to district events, which can be very, very costly. So it makes sense for them to still kind of be in the regional format. If anyone from California is in chat and wants to counter me on that, please feel free. But to be honest, I think districts is probably the best way to go, unless if you want to, you know, maybe get rid of all those waitlist slots and start sending more of the finalist teams, start getting more good teams at the championship. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one thing that's important to note too, like you mentioned, and I was talking with Jim Zondag, who was kind of a couple weeks ago when I was over at 33 Shop, and you know, talking about kind of how the district system came to be. And, you know, the biggest pushing factor when Michigan moved to it was, you know, the main thing about making it affordable. And, you know, kind of like you said, for teams having to fly, you know, that doesn't really make it affordable in that sense. So, Emilio, any thoughts?
I've never gone to a regional. However, I do hear stories about like every single match in regional counting. You can't afford to lose a match. And it's a lot more RNG when it comes to regionals than it is in a district event, because you have so little matches, and also districts allows you the 2 events, so it's so many more matches that you get to play that allow you to qualify for the district championship and then possibly even the world championship.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the one thing that was brought up in the Chief Delphi thread about a possible solution is maybe breaking, you know, certain parts of the country into more or less a region, and still having the regionals, you know, happen and leave them the way they are, but possibly doing something similar to the district point system, and then giving so many championship slots for those specific regions based on population in that certain region, kind of like how FIM is. You know, obviously FIM's got the most teams, so they're going to have the most championship slots. So I think that would be one way to possibly do it. So it allows, if you don't have a great first regional but win your second one, you still have a decent chance of getting in. So I think that would, you know, kind of help that in that sense. But any last thoughts before we kind of move into topic 2?
So I know that this was like a format that FTC did with like super regionals. I don't know if anyone is really like knowledgeable in that area. I know I'm not too like well versed, but I know that that's one way to be able to group a bunch of teams from larger areas to be able to get them like a championship experience, and at least be able to still qualify for the world championship without winning a banner.
So I think one of the big issues with the super regional model in FRC is that there's not enough time. FTC runs, you know, they start events in October for some areas, so they have enough for that. So the super regional model was quite loved in FTC. I know many wish it was back, but in FRC with only a 2-month competition season, I don't think that's realistic.
Makes sense.
Yeah, can't agree more with that. All right, gonna go ahead and jump right into topic two. We are gonna kind of talk about the sauce, as Emilio and Spectrum kind of called it. But I'll do a brief introduction here. But essentially, Spectrum put together this beautiful video and slide deck of kind of breaking down certain strategies within the game this year and how it could possibly evolve and moving forward. So, Emilio, I'll just kind of throw it right to you, and we'll kind of dive right into it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So the big idea we had with the sauce is to kind of give out a lot of the strategy that we thought we were going to do, and a lot of the strategy that we thought was important coming up into people's second district event. That we thought it would be really interesting to show off some of the work that we've done in this build season and start of comp season. There are a couple ideas. I kind of want to see what you guys want to talk about. So we have the autonomous, we have tele-op and endgame strategies. So I don't know, what do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess one main thing that I kind of want to talk about that really dragged a lot of traction on Chief Delphi, as well as I'm pretty sure made the clips of the week last week, was the autonomous of I believe it was Photon, who was spitting the ball to knock the other alliance's 5 ball off and actually getting them to pick up your ball. So I guess kind of just you go into a little bit of detail of how you guys even thought about that, and do you really see more teams doing that now that other teams have seen it?
Yeah, so the origin of this story is originally comes from 2019, almost. So we realized there you couldn't cross to the other side during autonomous or sandstorm period, as it was called then. And then in 2020 they did not have that rule, so we thought it was had some ideas for some defensive autons. And then when it carried over into 2022 into Rapid React, we were like, oh, there's none of these rules, but you can't touch a robot or cargo on the other side. So one of the ideas that we had, this was actually an idea that we thought of like really early on in build season, was, oh, you can replace one of the balls on the opponent's side and then have them shoot it, and so it can either be net 4 points for you if you just knock the ball away and nothing else happens because they don't score that ball, or it can be up to a net 8. So it's all like, so sniping that ball is just as good as having a 2 ball into the upper goal. And every bot can do it, and most robots should be able to do this. The biggest thing, though, that is one of the things, is it doesn't work on every robot. It only worked on 118 because they shot before they moved to get their ball. Last time I heard, they fixed that, so now they pick up that ball before. So, but there are a lot of robots that shoot that one before they go and do the 5-ball auton. So I think it's really cool, and we actually, the reason we decided to do that is because that robot was either going to just taxi or do something weird, because both of our alliance partners had to be a defender to shoot their auton ball, yeah, so we decided to have some fun.
That's awesome. Connor, anything to add?
There's just so many awesome auto routines in here. Like when I was watching that video earlier today, I was just floored with this video. It's just awesome work from you and 3847, everyone over there. I think one of my favorite things here is this, what is this, 8-ball autonomous?
Yeah, it's one of the things that we thought, okay, so what is like the limit of this? So it's on, I think, slide 18. So it's a really crazy slide, but essentially it incorporates one of the ideas of unstaging cargo. So one of the first things that we thought of is read through the auton rules very carefully and saw that your robot couldn't touch one of the other balls on the other side of the field, or else it was a tech fail. If it was staged, right? So, well, how do we get it unstaged? We can wait for another robot to touch it. We can, oh wait, what if we just use the opponent's ball on our side of the field to just push our ball a little bit, and then pick them both up and use a 1678 ball rejection color method to pick up that ball. So right here, we start over on the right tarmac on the red alliance. We pick up the blue ball. So if we have 2 balls, then we outtake it, knocking ball 03 out, picking it up, and then getting blue out of our robot using a color rejection method such as 1678s that they've shown off. Then we pick up R1 and shoot in less than 3 seconds. That allows us, that takes advantage of the momentary contact rule. So we're allowed to hold 3 balls for less than approximately 3 seconds. And then we go pick up R2 and then R3 in the back, and then do the same thing on the left side. So it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, that is we were kind of talking about this in the pre-show, but I don't even, Connor and I were crediting you guys because some of this stuff I don't even like. I don't even know. Some of these teams have never even thought about, right? And how descriptive that you guys go read the rules to really narrow it down to every little nitty gritty thing, and how can you I don't know if exploit's the right word to use, but how can you make that to your advantage in that sense? So let's kind of, I know the teleop one that you guys had shared with is pretty much the consensus that I think we've seen across the nation with the 2 offense, 1 defense, while grabbing the 2 opponent cargo. So I think that's relatively straightforward. But let's kind of shift into project overtime to kind of round us out here with this topic, and just give it a little bit on how you guys came up with that. I know that you guys have been pretty active in the blog about that and explaining how how you guys have gotten that to work and released some CAD for it as well if teams wanted to do it. But yeah, just walk us through that.
So the origin of Project Overtime, we kind of was reading the rules again and reading through the Q&A extensively. So on the previous slide than this one, it actually posts the rules. So it's question 134 asks about post-match height limit. And the answer for this was that penalties were not assigned for robot actions outside of the match. And match is capitalized here, and that's defined as the 2.5 minutes that we all know is a match. The biggest thing to notice, though, is that the hanger points is made 5 seconds after the arena timer displays 0, which is 5 seconds after the match ends. Which gave us the idea of, how do we do a traversal climb that takes advantage of both of these and allows us to score within, like, get the traversal climb. So it was a very big packaging thing. So if you look at the CAD, on the left side is our stowed configuration. And so we use a 1-stage elevator, which you could probably do into 2, but 1 is just easier. And it is less than 1/8 of an inch away from the height limit when it's stowed. So it is right up there. And then when it extends via passive method at time equals 0, then it extends, grabs the traversal, and goes down. And the way that we would do that is very similar to a 2020 Everybot climb that is just sprung down. So
So, I mean, obviously this is the main focus of just trying to maximize time here then, right? Being able to shift to the hanger zone, with very minimal time left and being able to get up to that point then. Connor, anything to add?
I'm just still floored by all this. I sound like a broken record, but just hats off to you guys for even thinking about this. Like, I know for most of my FRC career, I'd think of like auto routines and stuff. Be like, all right, well, we can do this. And then I see like the Poofs doing like a 3-ball auto from 2014 or a bunch of different things. And then I was like, all right, saw this game. I was like, you can do a 5-ball auto. It's very possible. And then you come out with all this stuff, and I'm just like, I still don't even know the half of it. And this is incredible work.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All of this is just going through the rule manual, trying to find little quirks and like the limits of the rules and where they apply and where they don't.
Right. All right. Anything? Any last things you would like to add, Emilio, before we move on?
Yeah, I saw in the chat a bit earlier that asked about the human player ball and the 8-ball. We do use that. So we use it similar to the how the 5 balls work now, where you just roll it onto the field. And then the last question was, I get how it goes up, but getting back down would be a task. That's one of the big issues with the overtime, is it has to be completely passive. But the 2020 Everybot climber, which I'd point to, it spools one direction to go up, and then once the rope reaches its limit, it spools the same direction and pulls it back down. So you just spring that with gas springs, probably 220-pound gas springs would do the trick. And then, well, that's how you go up and down.
Right. Awesome. Well, thanks again for sharing that with the FRC community. Before we move to topic 2, we're going to go ahead and bring on our producer Tyler to talk about our wonderful friends at Striker, and for those watching live, to start our giveaway from Andy Mark.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nick. As mentioned, we have from Andy Mark, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So let's start that first. Everybody loves giveaways. So once again, from our friends at Andy Mark, it's going to be the AM14U Family Axle Nut Holder Bundle. You get 2 sets of this, so it's pretty sweet. The nut holder is perfect for capturing the 3/8 to 16 nuts on the axles of the AM14U family of the chassis after assembly. This product makes wheel changes easy, especially when time is critical. Hey, that's going to be a great topic to talk about. Getting on the field last minute, right? So with that said, if you're interested in winning this from Andy Mark, you're going to type in the keyword family, because Ohana, I don't know, family. Family is the keyword. Type that in chat. That's your opportunity to win. Don't forget, we do give some extra luck to our subscribers. You need to be a follower in order to win as well, too, and we'll draw for this near the end of the show. Good luck, everybody. And as well, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to our friends at Striker Careers. You guys know about Striker, right? Everybody's heard about Striker. And if you haven't, man, where have you been in first updates now? Because we say Striker,
Yeah,
Striker,
come
Striker.
on.
So, but once again, if you're interested in learning more about Striker and working for a company that actually cares about you being in first, go ahead and check them out. Careers.stryker.com. They have careers available all over the world. It says 0, but now it says 2626. That's close to my old team, by the way, which is 2826. I was getting really excited for a moment there. But if you're interested, check out what they have to offer. Of course, co-ops, internships, entry-level, and experienced positions all over. A great company that, like I said, cares about you being in first. And if you want to make products that are life-saving, life-changing medical manufactured products, go ahead and check out careers.stryker.com. And co-ops and interns, don't forget, if you do choose to do your co-op or internship at their headquarters in Kalamazoo, you get your housing covered. Pretty sweet deal. Careers.stryker.com.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Tyler, for that, and thanks to our friends at Striker. All right, moving into our last topic of the day. We are going to be diving into what happened at the San Francisco Regional this past weekend. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at the Chief Delphi thread or aren't familiar with it, we saw that there was a predicament. I believe it was before Finals 1 or before Finals 2? I don't recall.
It's Finals 1.
Okay, so before Finals 1, there was forgive me, I don't have the team number offhand, but there was a team that was actually denied access to the field due to them being late for a timeout. And I think the community all has the same opinion on this. But before we want to get into this discussion, I do want to put a disclaimer out there. We're not going to have a discussion about the referee or the head ref in question. We're not saying that what the head ref did was wrong, because we do think it was wrong, but we're going to be mainly focusing on what's wrong with the system here and how we can fix that. So we'll jump to you first, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, just to kind of fill in there, the team was 3970 Duncan Dynamics. They were the second robot on that number 2 Blue Alliance with 971 and 841. So we noticed as the field timeout prior to Finals 1 ends, that there is only one robot on the field, and it is one of the Red Alliance robots, and no other robots are in view of the camera. And it's about 5 minutes later after the timer ends, after it ends, where 3970 comes over to the field to go on to it. And what you'll see here on screen is one of the referees and the head referee walk over to the team and we're like, hey, no, you can't come onto the field. But prior to that, they were near the field for a bit, and they were denied entry to this match, and they were told to hang out by the side of the field. I have been on the opposing end of this before, as in like I have been on the opposing alliance at 2020 Northern Connecticut for our semifinal matchup against the number 8 seed. The timeout had expired, and the gates were still left open, and two of the robots on the opposing alliance were denied ability, like access to the field. But there's this whole thing called the open gate policy, where if you are by the field within sight and the gates are still open, and you can still get your robot onto the field and play this match, which they were. And what's even worse about this situation is they do like the whole team introductions and finals match handshakes and everything. So like after they were told no, they're standing there for another 5-7 minutes while the gates are still open, and they're just denied from a match. I mean, I can understand if it's a qualification match possibly, but like this is the finals of an event. Like there are championships on the line here. A
Exactly.
shot to be able to go to Houston. That's just not okay. Like, well, I know that, like, yes, it's part of the way that the rule is written. Rule H103, humans stay off the field until green. Yes, the lights were no longer green on the field, but like teams are paying for a service here, guys. So we spend thousands of dollars on this robot and a $5,000 registration fee, and there's other hidden costs that people that
Yeah,
for
travel and whatever else comes along with it.
yes, exactly, travel, food, any kind of amenities needed. And first is the business. They are supplying a product, and the product is FRC, and we are the customer. And when the customer isn't happy, the customer complains to the manufacturer, this being first, and the public outcry on Chief Delphi is incredible. And, there we won't dive into it, but we see a bunch of movements all throughout life right now, and without change will not happen unless the community is vocal about it and does something. So what I ask for everyone who sees this and who reads that Chief Delphi thread, make your voice loud and make it known to first that we are not okay with this and that we need change immediately. Because that robbed them of that match. They could have won that match. Finals one was a 3-point differential and they lost. That could have been going to a finals 3 tiebreaker, which could have been a completely different alliance winning this event. Now, I mean, it at the end of the day, it's all said and done. What happened is what happened. We can't change that right now, but it's the fact for moving on, and we need to make sure that this change happens and it's fair for everyone involved.
Just real quick, like, who cares if they would have won or not? That's not the point. The point is getting them on the field to play.
And,
for sure.
And the biggest thing is the way that this rule was applied for me, right? Like, so if it was done to the letter of the rule, like they wouldn't have let any teams on after the timeout expired, I think I would have been less angry than if they applied it willy-nilly in like the same 5-minute period. Another note is that when refs call it the other way, where they let teams have way too much time on the field, nobody complains. A big example of this is Channel View 2022. The time between Finals 1 and Finals 2, I believe, was 55 minutes. I was personally at that event. And the reason was because there was a broken robot. Nobody from the opposing alliance complained. Well, because everybody wants to have fun. Like the point of this event is for everybody to compete at their best. And that's the point of first. So similar thing happened in Pasadena. Or excuse me, not Pasadena, Dripping Springs. The opposing alliance came to us. They had a broken robot. And they asked us to use their timeout in the finals, and obviously everybody on our alliance was like, "Yeah, sure, take your time," because we all know that we don't want to compete 3v2 or 3v1 because that's not like in the spirit of gracious professionals. And it's all about having everybody get their fair share and get their fair chance.
Yeah, and exactly, and I think like you said too, like I would have been less upset if they hadn't done the handshake and the introductions after they were denied access to the field. So, if we're, and, I believe Ryan from the Thrifty Bot kind of put it out there too on Chief and mentioning how, if our goal is to, introduce these teams and give them a rightfully deserved spotlight in the finals, and then for you to, so you're going to deny them access to the field and then turn around and give them that spotlight. It just seems counterintuitive to me. And and like Connor said, we have to make our voice loud. I know I've sent 2 emails to FRC teams already today about it. Just and obviously very politely, but just sharing my thoughts with them on it and how I thought it was handled wrong. And but again, it's not going to change unless we say something. So I hope that moving forward we're able to use this as a learning experience. And my heart really goes out to, and again I forgot the team number, but my heart goes out to that team that was denied access. But like you said, Connor, too, it could have been the difference about winning the event, and and Tyler mentioned as well, it doesn't matter about winning it. It's the fact about getting the team on there, and rightfully giving them they're giving them the play that they deserve, and frankly they're paying for. I mean, bottom line is. So go ahead, Tyler.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is you made a comment that like things are going to change unless we're allowed. I do disagree with that. Things are only going to change if FIRST deems it so. So on our end, we can try to be the advocates for change and try to be that voice. But we need to be realistic about a couple things. Is that those of us who are quite loud are a very small percentage, nonetheless. Even though we are the super engaged in this community. That doesn't mean we're not important. That doesn't mean our voice shouldn't count for things, but we do still need to realize that we can do whatever we want, and FIRST can still do whatever they want. And so
For sure.
it really comes up to, if you're looking at being that loud thing, don't just flail your arms in the air. Try to be a positive change. And I will say the one thing that I did see that was great, there's a couple of posts on CD about solutions for things, and not just not just yelling that it needs to change, but providing solutions. And that I'm sure I appreciate that a lot. And I can't speak on behalf of Manchester for anything, but I'm sure they appreciate actually having some potential options to go with.
Yeah, and I think one thing is, and Tyler, you brought up possible solutions. I think one main solution that we can all agree on, and Connor, I totally agree with you. If this was a qualification match, it's a different story. Not completely. I still think the referee could have handled the situation better. But I would understand more during qualifications than I would during the finals. And not saying teams in the finals should, get special treatment or anything like that, but it's a high stakes event, and I think that the rule could possibly be rewritten to allow for more time during the finals. And also, and I know Karthik jumped on this as well about possibly revisiting the idea of doing awards during the finals. That would
Yes,
be
please.
that would be one of the perfect solutions to allow for this. And also, yeah, and it also gets us out of there quicker, to be honest with you. But any other things that people would want to add towards that topic?
Yeah, so I mean, normally I'm in favor of doing all the awards right after finals because to me the award ceremony is like very very special. You kind of get to reflect on the whole weekend and really celebrate with everyone,
For sure.
rejoicing over awards. But I mean, if I just had to start it there for a minute but uh, for reasons I can't say. But if that means that we get extra time in between matches so that we can work on our robot and get it there, I'm all for it, man. Like I just want to have robots. I want to have fair matches, clean fights. Let's duke it out in the 2.5 minutes on the field, not between matches and during timeouts and stuff. And let's just all have fun.
And the teams work so hard. There's nothing worse than having an address to a win saying, well, you won against them with only 2 robots.
Right.
You want to be able to say you won against them full strength. And I'm pretty sure everybody in the FRC community can almost agree that they want to go 3v3 full strength. Emilio, any last thoughts to add to this?
Not really. Everything got covered, but yeah, it's like the point. Everybody, as a student and even as an alumni, we want robots to compete. Like that, there's no time, especially at Channel V. We'll see a robot that isn't working, and especially like 118 and then us 3847 went out and tried to go out of our way to help the robot to even like regardless to try to get them to compete as fast as possible because that's the spirit of FIRST to do robots.
I just real quick want to comment
Go ahead,
on one other thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna counter myself on my own awards during or before finals thing. The only thing I will say is the only thing I don't like about doing it before finals is that if your team is vying for chairman's and EI and you win a different award prior to that, you know you're not winning chairman's or EI, and that gives you an extra 2 hours to lament on that based on the way that first awards work, with a couple of exceptions of performance awards, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand that.
Good
for
point.
Sure.
Yeah,
but Tyler will actually go ahead and bring you back on. We're going to go ahead and draw that for that giveaway from our friends at AndyMark.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Once again, family was the keyword if you're interested in winning that. We do have that poll in chat that's going to wrap up soon. If you believe that we should do some awards for before finals or not, love to have your input on that, and type in chat. Let us know how you're feeling about that as well, too. We'd love to hear your reasoning either way on stuff and how you feel. So once again, from AndyMark, the AM14U Family Axle Nut Holder Bundle, you get 2 bundles of it. The winner is going to be... Oh my goodness, Wob Chick, who apparently just wins every single week. So congratulations. Lots of rigged emotes in chat, please. Clearly we have rigged it for Wob Chick to win, because that person won last week, and I think 2 or 3 weeks prior to that as well too. But congratulations, and thanks again to AndyMark for the great giveaways. More giveaways during all of our shows during this competition season.
All right, thank you, Tyler, and thank you, AndyMark. So before we just wanted to say a quick thanks to everybody tuning in for FRC Roundup tonight. Special thanks to those who clicked that follow button or stepped up to help fund with a Twitch subscription or donation. Your support really helps us continue to make great content. Don't forget, you can watch FRC Roundup archived at youtube.com/first updates now, and that will be actually uploaded on Monday nights now. So right after this show, if you didn't get a chance to watch it, or share with some friends who didn't get a chance to watch it. And we will be continued to have this show live Mondays after FRC Recap during the competition season. Special thanks to Emilio for coming on for this week. Really had a great time having you, and again, great work on the 2022 The Sauce. On behalf of our producer, Tyler Olds, my co-host, Connor, and all fun correspondents, I'm Nick Jr., and thanks for watching, and good luck to all teams competing in Week 4. See you next week, same day, same time, where we take a look at what is going on each week on FRC Roundup. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks to Striker Careers for their support in this video. First alumni and mentors are making Striker a top priority for their internships and careers. That's because Striker knows that those in First are the leaders and innovators of tomorrow. If you want to help make the world a better place by creating life-saving medical devices and technology, get started at careers.stryker.com. Thanks for watching. If you want to join us for future fun streams, be sure to click the follow button and turn on the notification bell to know when we're live. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. View archives and unique content at youtube.com/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. And check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.